So, Michael, one of your amazing talents that I've always been really just impressed by is your ability to relate things to stories and movies and scenes and these metaphors that we find in like literary works and things like that. And you know, one of the reasons it seems you do that is because the instincts speak in story. Is that correct?
The instinct's primary language is emotion. Its next move from emotion in between where we are thinking logically is narrative. So it's a context. It's a narrative context that gives you an emotional response in a story. So this is why the instincts, not just in dreams, but also in how people talk, how they're imagining a situation when they're talking about it. That's why, like when you were telling me the story about the gentleman, we can abstract that. This is the mother, and this is this, and this is that. But the reason I was able to come to a reasonable conclusion based on very little information is because when you were telling me it, I was seeing the scene of him in the men's group online. And so I see the story. That gives me the clue on the emotions. That gives me the clue on the complex. Not just, here's a theoretical psychodynamic framework. There is a rage thing, and there is an unconscious response, and that response is predicated on blah blah blah. Like it's like you've got to get into the story.
Yeah, and one of the ironic things about this conversation is we've kind of gone a little bit top down in the sense that we've been discussing a lot of intellectual ideas.
Yep. Yep.
Perhaps hoping and pointing to us getting to an emotion, but what I'd like to do is maybe, bring up maybe the story of I don't know, a good example might be the Hulk or something.
Yeah.
For someone dealing with the dissociated rage instinct, that the idea of the Hulk might be more effective at actually showing what's going on there. Do you have any other stories that you might point to?
Yeah, well, so let's deal with the Hulk for the few people who understand the Hulk. In the was it the 80s, The Incredible Hulk, the TV show with Bill Baxter?
Incredible Hulk from 1977 to 1982, Lou Ferrigno, spanning 82 episodes.
So that's when they were telling stories. So this isn't Marvel, Marvel Avengers one. They were telling the story. So you have this very sensitive intellectual doctor who's constantly hiding himself from people because he's afraid he'll act out. And he can't remember when he turns into the Hulk. So the whole premise on every episode is that. And this is what a malignant complex does. It keeps us isolated. Its job is to keep us isolated and fearful of our, not just other people, but of our own self as a monster, that we're going to overreact and cause damage. He can't even show that he's a doctor. He goes and he has to go from town to town because once he turns into the Hulk, he has to leave that town. And we do this all the time in relationships, if not literally leave town. Right? And he has to go, and since he can't show who he was in the beginning, he's got to go be a dishwasher. He can't even utilize his intellect. And you see this when he's dealing with these different environments where he has to act like something he's not. You see the juxtaposition of this very intelligent doctor having to act like something he's not, and then eventually getting in situations where his rage comes on. He turns into the Hulk, does damage, and he has to move on. This is emotional, and the point I want to get is that there is, at the end of every show, is the credits. They have a song. I think it's called Lonely Man. Look it up. But it is everyone, even if you hear it now, you will have an emotional response of the loss and the isolation of your anger, what it has caused you, what it has cost you in your life. And anyone who's watched that series at my age or at any time, you will know when you hear that. You're like, that, I mean, it just hits you. It gut punches you at the end of every episode. And these are the stories. These are the music. These are the emotive themes that actually move the instincts, move the emotion. And this is what we're trying to get to. We're not trying to get to the abstracted idea of rage represents this.
Yeah, the song is called "The Lonely Man," the theme from The Incredible Hulk. Yeah, it says one of the guys says, "The older I get, the more this song relates." And then there's other people saying, "This song makes me cry." David Banner walking off alone in an unknown future, with no one to share it, no one to lean on.
So it's awesome, and we know this. See, so this is a feeling. It's the emotion. It's the narrative. It's the compassion. It's the interaction with other people regarding this, and knowing that there's all these men and women, thousands, hundreds of millions who understand that song. It's not because it's an abstracted and we do a theoretical framework on the chords, how they put them together and stuff like that. It's because when we hear it, or we know the story, or we even know that they know the story, our relating, our ability to connect to other people is so powerful that we feel it.
It's so interesting how the modern psychological framework that's just inundated in Western culture, something about that is so dissociative in itself. Just the idea of thinking through these very logical, or it's just dissociated lenses. It's totally devoid of emotion. There's almost like no relating. It's just this idea of like, oh, this is what's going on, and look, I know what it is, therefore I feel better. But it's like it's a very cheap satisfaction. Like it really, it seems to, I don't know. It's tragic to me. Because I often have thought through those lenses and seen things that way, and I have this kind of almost inflated sense of like, oh yeah, I know now, but it doesn't. But really what it's doing is it's helping me dissociate from the deep, heavy feelings of truly understanding the problem, which is so severe and so big that it's so overwhelming. When we think and look at the world, we realize that this is going on and that we can fix it, and then on a deeper level, we actually know what to do about it. We actually know that we're looking for connection and love and authenticity and the desire to be seen and the ability to see others, and we do all these things in order to stay safe. It's like unconscious adaptations to not feel, and therefore just cut ourselves off from an entire world that is so much more fulfilling and whole, right? This sense of wholeness that comes with being responsible and recognizing our place in society as members of the human family.